All right, we're going live.
Do it.
We
You
are
definitely digging the Suzuki Circus.
Download fail. What the fizzle shicks?
We're live right on time this time.
I've got the bison hat working. All right.
Perfecto. Yes. See?
I was gonna wear my Suzuki hat, but my it's a fitted hat. I just had my hair cut, so it's a little bit big. I got this little peanut head, you know.
Dean looking fresh.
Hey man,
All right, baby.
that just
Yeah,
means
look good.
more
Look good to
aerodynamic.
feel good. I'm riding the big bike and the little bike on Sunday.
What's the little bike?
The
Oval.
Oval. Oh, dude, you gotta let me try it, man.
Where you
Yep.
riding? Where you riding the Oval at?
At the kart track?
Not this Sunday.
Absolutely this Sunday.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that camera day?
it is a Gamma Day.
No, camera.
It's next week.
Next weekend?
I
Is it?
Per
I think so.
motorsport reg, it is.
It's next weekend, right?
Per motorsports reg.
I don't know. Let me look at their page. I'm pretty sure that
You was gonna skip the big track on this Sunday to ride the kart track.
no, I said I was gonna ride both.
Oh, hop back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not this weekend. It's next weekend. I thought so.
It's next weekend?
It's the
Are you
12th.
sure?
Yeah. Look on Motorsport Reg.
Damn, why did I think it was this weekend? All right, well, fuck it. I'm riding back to back. You know what? That's even better, to be honest.
It was
Yeah.
originally scheduled for this weekend. They changed the dates.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. All right. Bet.
I mean, you're fine.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, baby.
That's even better because we would have had to go like, I don't know, it'd been tough to do. I probably would have just got to ride through lunch, but
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been
well,
that's
just
all-
because I think that they run at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely want to rip it around the track, the car track.
Oh fuck. Hold on.
That little thing is a beast.
Dude, I'd want to as well, man. I rode man, I forgot who's the guy that won one in the raffle or something. I
Yeah,
rode his in the
Greg.
parking lot. Dude, they're insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, his was the 160. I got the 190.
Good Lord,
Ooh.
dude. That thing would honestly be scary on the kart track.
Hey, I've got some kick-ass video from Barber. Actually, me and Dean were there watching the
The Valleys. Yeah.
the O'Valleys, yeah.
The
Yeah,
kids.
like the national championship.
Yeah.
Those kids are fearless. You hear me?
Yeah.
Fearless. Wide
Dude,
open.
Like this one little girl, her mom was right there. This little girl crashed and she was like, damn it again. And like little girl got up and she was like, that's 4 times this weekend. I was like, man, at least she keeps getting up and getting back on and keeps going out there, you know?
Damn straight, dude.
But yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It's got like golden suspension on it. It's only got 12 hours on it.
Oh, nice. Where'd you get it from?
Dude, we drove to Jacksonville, Florida to get it.
Nice.
Holy dude.
I love it.
The weekend that y'all was at Jennings, we was in Jacksonville.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But like it was kind of a struggle. Like the dude like didn't want to work with us, like and meeting up anywhere, price, this and that. And it was a good deal. Like she got a really good deal on it. It's actually Lauren. She actually got a really good deal on it. But yeah, so like we had to like drive out there Saturday, get a hotel, and meet him Sunday morning. Like that's the only way he could do it. And I was just like, whatever. But
Yeah, some people are just my way or the highway, buddy.
yeah, I mean, he was a nice guy. It was just I don't know. It just seemed like it was like because if we could have done it on Saturday, we probably would have stopped at Jennings on the way back. But
Yeah, that would be
You know.
pretty good. Dude, Jennings was fantastic. I was kicking myself in the ass for not winning the R1. But
yeah,
so where Jennings is great, it's also not great because it's great because you have so much grip. Like you can literally just about drag the plastics, you know, if you're smooth on your inputs. But along with that comes the aggregate that's coming at you and tearing up
right.
the bottom side of your belly pan. And yeah. So I'm kind of glad I didn't bring the R1. But then
Yeah.
like 2 days later or the next weekend, Katie Alcohol's posting like, what was it? Like a minute 18 seconds on an SB6, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably get that on the R1.
It's insane, man. That's
Yeah.
oh, that's moving. I wonder what Gabe's best time on his R6 is.
113 or 114, I think.
Whew, shit. That's moving.
Yeah, it is. The best I could do all weekend was a 123, I think. Yeah.
I don't even know what my PR is.
I was on the R6, but then it's a tad bit underpowered with my big ass. Like a monkey on a football.
I think it's a 111, Dallin. I don't know. I'd have to look at the YouTube video. But that video is insane. That dude on that EBR is fucking moving.
Oh, Nicola Canova?
Yeah,
he
dude. That video is insane.
Dude, I actually follow him on or I subscribe to him on YouTube. He's got some POV videos that are like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like to know that he runs almost like mid-pack MotoGP pace. He just doesn't want to race.
Yeah.
He's like phenomenal. Crazy.
Craziness. All right, so we got a few people in here now, so let's get rolling.
Nice.
What's up, everybody? We don't really have anything too crazy for this one. Just trying to get everybody stoked for the weekend. I know I haven't rode since September. So I know I'm freaking dying, and the weather is just going to be mint. I mean, you couldn't ask for freaking December too. I mean, this is knock on wood. It's crazy. This is going to be great. Dean's got his bike figured out, knock on wood. So hopefully he'll be able to
at
get
least
some hot
I
laps.
got a fork that rebounds and compresses at least. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so what was the deal with that, Dean? It was a bushing that was torn up or something in one of your forks?
So the one of the shims for the and I'm so bad with the technology, but something like the
one of the
shims on a check valve. I guess there's a check valve in there. So the shims on the check valve of the repound side. And I actually have it, where it's normally circle. It's like, it was like broken, like somebody took a bite out of like a cookie. So that broke, and then some of that like cut the cart seal. And so basically I had no rebound. So whatever I was feeling, it was just the bike had no rebound on the front. So I guess like the front would just stay down.
That was the physical play in the forks from the video you sent me?
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. And all from your accident.
Yeah, I mean, I asked him, like, what would cause that, and he said like it like the things look like, so Thermos Man built them, and he's like they look like phenomenally put together. He's like, I can't say it's craftsmanship. He's like, I can't even say it should crash. It just happened. I don't know. So I mean, we can say maybe the crash, wear and tear. I don't really know, but I'm sure that if it was on before the crash, because that's the first time I put the forks on, so I can't really say whether or not crashed it or not. So yeah, but they're all rebuilt and fresh anyway. So yeah,
nice.
Pretty stoked about it. And they're real big about, like, they measure the bike, and that's how they set up geometry. They don't set it up by ride height. They set it up kind of by like pivot angle, swing arm angle, your raking trail, and so wherever the ride height lands, that's just kind of where it lands. Again, that's just a starting point, right? So I feel like I have a really good baseline. The bike should be pretty close.
Nice.
Like I shouldn't say the bike's not doing this or not doing that. I can say, oh, I can try and make it a little bit better or whatever, but I should be in the ballpark if the springs are right. And according to everyone, like I should be in the ballpark. So
nice.
The only thing I'm trying to figure out is like what gearing to run. Cause I think right now I have 1643, which is something I just put on, which is basically like down 2, or no, actually it's down 1 in the front. I don't know if that gearing for NOLA.
I mean, it should be
But
close
we'll
enough.
see.
NOLA's pretty forgiving on the gearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it'll just put me basically the biggest issue is going through the S's, because I really want to be in fourth gear because third's too choppy. Just can't. So that's the only thing is like trying to work. Because remember last time I was there, even though I was off pace because of whatever I was feeling, but still I didn't feel like the S's I could like. I wouldn't carry enough speed into it. You know what I mean? I was kind of like going through the S's in third gear. Somehow, maybe I should probably just clicked in the fourth and then tipped it in for 8. But so I don't know. I think that I've got a different size sprocket that I may try, but we'll see. Because I don't know. I mean, I've never really ridden 1,000 there, so.
Hey, you know who else is stoked for NOLA? with that monster R1. Oh man, I'm so excited. I can't even put into words.
dude,
All right,
this
so
is the
NOLA.
weekend. If we get some rubber down on the track after lunch on Sunday, whew, man.
Yeah. So
This-
NOLA is the track that I judge all my progress by, because it's where I cut my teeth. It's where I started. It's where I have the most laps. It's basically where I learned everything I know. I mean, I've just been able to refine certain techniques at different tracks because they offer more or less of a specific type of corner that you need to practice a certain skill set in. But in terms of my overall, skill set or knowledge, everything is NOLA. Everything is NOLA. So I'm excited. So last time we were at NOLA, I was playing with steering the bike with the throttle, and that's more of an advanced technique on corner exit. If it's more of an advanced technique, so the newer guys shouldn't really worry about that, or like novice, intermediate pace, or even beginner advanced pace. You don't, that it'll get you into trouble if you don't have a very disciplined throttle hand. But what I was playing with is on corner exit, making the bike slide a little bit to help finish the corner, right? So I'm gonna continue playing with that, and I got some settings that I mess with the adjustable electronics on the bike, and yeah, I got it tuned, and that thing put down 202. 202.
Jesus, man, that's crazy.
Man.
Hell yeah.
If I don't hit my goal this weekend, then I'm just gonna pack it in. I'm just gonna pack it up. I'm done forever.
Yeah. Well, I'll be out there doing it with you.
Hell yeah. I can't wait,
Yeah,
bro.
you gotta be stoked.
I got the Pirelli fronts on. I just hope I can still ride good. That's the first thing I'm worried about. Take it easy Saturday morning, get used to speed again and whatnot. And then after that, just fucking send it. It's my plan.
Hell yeah.
The Pirellis I have on did 2 practice sessions and 1 race at Road Atlanta. So they're pretty much brand new.
Nice.
So I didn't really like the Pirellis and the S's because it feels numb to me. I don't really know how hard I'm pushing the front end with the Pirelli versus the Dunlop, the Michelin, the Continentals. I can always kind of feel if I'm at the edge.
Right, where it starts to kind of fade away a little bit. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I've gotten a lot better as a rider since I've been on a Pirelli front. Since the last time I was on a Pirelli front. I think the fastest time I've done it NOLA with a Pirelli on the front was like a 54, and that was when it was my PR. I switched to Dunlops, and it took me a day to get there on a Dunlop to get back to a 54. So
yeah,
I'm a good bit faster now. We'll see how it works out. I also have a brand new set of soft Continentals I can throw on there and try as well.
Dude, I put Sunday morning at Jennings, I put a fresh medium plus on the back of the R6 and killed it in 3 sessions.
Fucking Jennings, man.
Man.
And if you think that's bad, Tally's worse.
I can't. I'll never go to Tally. Tally is nothing.
But it's a fun track. It really is. It's a fun. I like Tally more.
I want to go
like
down the
Jennings.
valley.
Dude, the oval on the Tally would be fun.
Hell yeah, it would be.
Hmm.
I bet you would probably run. I bet you would probably be within 5 seconds of a 600 time.
Yeah.
What? What's the top speed on that little thing? I know you've gotten it there already.
Well, a good
Probably like
Tally
80,
time is
85.
1 minute too. So I mean,
85 miles an hour.
holy.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Holy moly.
It's with stock gearing, you know what I mean? And yeah. So I mean, I think yeah, I mean, yeah, 1 minute. So I mean, if you think about it, there's no straightaways. So you know what I
It's
mean,
all
like to
corner
get to
speed.
like a 105, to get to a 105, 106, I mean, I think you probably do that.
At
I mean,
105
what
there.
are they running on
105.
300s out there?
I don't know. Let me look it up. Let me see what they ran last year.
I mean, I think it
'Cause they
would run
have
with a
the-
300. I mean, dude, like so we push started when we push started, like and then like you know get on the gas, the thing is just wheelie, bro. Like you come off, like I just can imagine like coming off the corner with a knee on the ground, thing just picking up. I mean, it's gonna be crazy because it's at the same time like I mean you can high side, it's got enough power you can high side it, you know what I mean? So it's not like lean over and just whack it because you will send yourself to the moon. It's got that much
That's
torque.
fantastic.
Yeah, the thing is a grunt monster for sure.
Yeah, dude, Josh Herring's intro to his videos, he high sides on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Something's wrong. They don't have all the times. The Weir Minis, which is the Grom. It's a 130. It's like one guy stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like the fastest mini time is a 119.
Yeah, but it's not like Grom. I mean, I can see that.
Let's check.
Yeah.
For some reason,
I don't
it's
know.
just
I
not-
think it'd be fun.
I don't
That
know,
would be a
dude.
nice track for it.
There's only 2 guys on twins that are faster than a 105. This is in August. There wasn't that many people there in August.
Okay. So
I don't
what, a
even know if they
110?
ran 300s.
I mean,
I mean, a
110,
110.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you do have 2 relatively long straights if you think about it. After turn 1 and then after the carousel.
Yeah, but what do you? I mean, like how fast are you getting on the 600? Like
30s.
130s? Okay.
So the fastest 400 time in Nov, well, he won the expert race too. 107. That seems really slow.
That's probably right. Yeah.
It was
So
Julian.
110.
Julian's pretty quick.
It's like a 110. That'd be nice.
So, Russell's cosplaying as Jennifer tonight.
Oh, tell him to text me a photo. Russell.
So
Hey,
the
nothing
goal.
killed me like that pork chop, lamb chop, swirl around cattail mustache he had for the competition.
Yeah, that shit was good.
Yeah.
So the goal of the webcast, now I know we're a good ways in here, so I hope people are still paying attention, is to really talk more on an advanced, well, I shouldn't say expert, advanced riders. And we're going to kind of talk about some of the things that helped us kind of get, faster, if you will. So this is more geared towards the advanced rider, and the topics that, we kind of came up on were the slowest part of the turn, as well as getting back on the gas. So just to get kind of straight to it here. Got the map of NOLA. So we're just going to kind of go around the track, talk a little bit about where the slowest part of the turn is.
Turn 3, man. Turn 3 is my enemy.
So let's start in 1. So here's a map of the track so that everybody can kind of get calibrated. You got your front straight, obviously, and it's a turn 1 right here. Pretty straightforward. Should be right in the middle of the apex. Y'all agree?
The slowest part?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much turn 1 is pretty much brake get on the gas immediately after you finish, after you release the brakes, which would be right at the apex. Yeah. So ideally, you would be a little further into the turn when you apex that. So probably on the next red mark to the left, or the joint between the red and white to the left. Yeah.
Yeah. So Trey says here.
No, the other direction.
Oh,
Your other left.
yeah, I agree. I would have definitely go a little further than where I put it.
Yeah.
Go here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Late
and here's
apex
a
it
quick
just a touch.
Q&A. Here's a quick Q&A for the advanced guys. So why would you want the apex of turn 1 to be a little later? What is that? Probably 10 or 15 feet later than the original dot on that. The original dot is pretty much mid corner, but why would you want your apex to be a little later than that? And Donnie, you can kind of listen in, I guess, the people that are commenting on the chat, see if anybody knows and understands why. How many we got watching right now? 9?
Yeah. So Dallin says square it off, and that's right.
So the reason you want that is because you need a wider entry into turn 2, because the drive out of 2 is a straightaway essentially. So everything on a bike is pretty much give and take. So you're going to give a little bit on the entry to turn 1 to gain a lot on the exit of turn 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Matthew, that's correct. As Trey is alluding to here. Because it sets you up better for turn 2.
Right. But Donnie, tell them
in
why.
reality, this is one of those turns that with the bumps all in this area, it makes it hard to do properly. So in reality, you're really waiting on the bike to kind of settle down before you get back onto the gas, which is another reason that the late apex makes sense. If the track was perfect, it'd pretty much be a wash, in my opinion, where if it was at dead center, if it was here, or if it was even here, you would just gain some and sacrifice some.
Right.
But well, the way the track's condition currently is, I agree that this is pretty much the slowest part of the turn. So slowest part of the turn, what is the slowest part of the turn? Just so that everybody's understanding what we're going through here. The slowest part of the turn is when you should be going the slowest, obviously in the turn every single lap. There's a concept that I didn't really learn until watching Ken Hill a lot, is that it doesn't matter if Trey is on his R1 or if Trey's on his R3, he's going to be going the same speed on that dot in both cases in the perfect world. This is not a point and shoot turn, so both bikes would be going the same speed at the slowest part of the turn. What separates the really fast guys from us, basic advanced guys, is what happens between here and here. It's not about they go 5 mile an hour faster at the slowest part of the turn. We all go the same speed there. It's what happens getting to it and leaving it. So today we're focusing on the slowest part of the turn and getting out of the turn.
Nice.
So moving on, turn 2. So you come out of 1, you late apex. Hopefully you're not running over the rumbles, and you come into turn 2. Where's the slowest part of the turn? Dean, what you think?
Probably around the 4th red stripe from the right. Somewhere right between there and the white.
About right here.
A little bit left.
Okay.
Next one.
Here.
Yeah, the red one, the red and white one, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Maybe
So
maybe
Dean's
even a
saying
little
here.
further.
What you think, Trey?
I
Probably
guess
the next one. Probably the next one, actually.
So my slowest part of that turn, really I'm running the same speed. So once I come out of one, I'll grab third gear and just lean over into the turn. Now I'm slowly, really I don't have a slowest part of that turn. My slowest part of that turn is the entry, because I'm pretty much accelerating all the way through turn 2. And it progressively. So at your first white mark, I may be at 5% throttle, but at the first red mark, I'll be at 7% throttle. And I'm slowly accelerating all the way through that turn.
I agree. So for me personally, my slowest part's like back here.
Way back there, yeah. I drive all the way through there.
And the reason I do that, or I want to be on the throttle, is because if you're not on the throttle, your bike's going to run wide. And so you'll notice if you come into this turn a little too hot and you're running out of track over here, then you're going to tend to let off the throttle, and then you're going to notice that the bike's going to go even wider in the beginning. So by staying on the throttle, keeping your maintenance throttle through the turn and accelerating, it'll make the bike turn. So
right,
I'm with Trey on that one.
But as I'm learning,
so for me, the slowest part of the corner is when I have direction to be able to accelerate. So
right,
I think of, the slowest part of the corner as when, generally speaking, my bike is it's pointed on the exit on the direction of the exit that I want to go. So when I'm ready to get on the throttle, theoretically, that's the slowest part of my corner, because at that point the bike's done turning. I'm ready to decrease lane angle and add acceleration. So that's kind of what I think of a slowest point. It doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, I agree. Like, you're on the gas back there, and then you're kind of maintenance throttle all the way until, you have, or not necessarily maintenance throttle. You could be increasing 5, 7, 10. Waiting patiently not to rush the exit, and as soon as your bike has direction, then you accelerate through it. Yeah.
And to touch a little more on what Dean said, in a perfect world, that's correct. Exactly what he said. So the slowest part of the turn is when you have direction to accelerate, because you're in the perfect world, in every turn, you're going to brake all the way until the point that you get on the gas. So the perfect lap is the lap where you have the least amount or zero neutral throttle. So you're either braking or you're accelerating. The less coasting that you do is the less time you're wasting. So yeah, I agree with what Dean said. So you brake until you're happy with your speed and direction, meaning you see your exit and you can drive out on the right line.
Yeah, and I mean, every corner, like as Trey mentioned earlier, every corner is gonna offer different advantages, right? So turn 1 is more of what we call an exit corner, because the exit is where you're going to be accelerating, right? And it's going to be more rewarding. You're going to pick up more time on the exit. So yeah, however you get into turn 1, you get into it with the ability to maximize your exit. And I think that if we talk about every corner is going to offer a little something different. And there's certain corners where it could be like an entry or an exit corner, and it really just depends on your bike, your riding style, the grip that's there that day, whether you're braking past the apex or on the throttle at the apex. I know, for example, that double apex right on the kart track is a real good example of that. You can treat it as an entry corner or an exit corner, because it kind of offers both, and that's a corner where you're maintenance throttle for a long time, because you can, again, it's small bikes, but it is because you can accelerate. If you accelerate, you run off the track. So you just kind of maintenance throttle, and then when the bike's done turning, then you're able to accelerate.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite corners.
The ones where you leaned over for the longest?
No, turn 3, NOLA. Just in general.
3 at NOLA? So, okay.
All right,
So
I'm going first on this one. So my personal slowest point of the turn
And I think we all got different lines in this corner too.
is about right here. On a good lap, I'd say on my optimal lap, it's about, let me make that a little smaller. It's about right here. Cause I don't like crossing the seam. I'm not a fan of that. So it's about there for me.
So this morning, I took my fastest footage that I have, and I put it next to a video of Danny Kelsey, where he did his laps at NOLA. I think it was a race, a CCS race or whatever race it was.
CMRA,
a long time ago. And I started the footage exactly the same point at the start finish line on the front straight. And he and I are neck and neck through turn 1. He gaps me a little bit in turn 2, but I lose a second and a half to him just in turn 3. Just in turn 3. And it's 100% line choice.
because you're wide. I think you're wide.
I do.
Yeah.
So I attack the corner, turn 3, and that's not necessarily the best way to do turn 3. Because it's not just a U-turn, because the exit of turn 3 is so long. But so I usually I'll brake hard past the apex and shoot out almost to where Donnie's dot is. I'll cross the seam, and then I'll get way out there, get the bike slowed, really slow, and then get it turned up track and then really gas it out of there. And
Yeah,
really
I would say most of y'all are probably in this area
yeah.
for your
Yeah,
slowest
I never
point.
crossed that second seam because the track stops to drop off right there also.
That's
Because most people just like shoot straight across the seam on entry.
Yeah, I stay right up under that seam. And I'd say my slowest point's pretty close to yours too, Donnie. I think I'm actually pretty decent coming out of here. You get the bike turned early and you can just really accelerate.
Like some laps, if I'm really trusting the front, because I come in shallow, I come in like this. And so if I'm really trusting the front and the track's clean, I'll even try to tighten it up even more and maybe treat it as like here. But whenever I do that, I find that I have a hard problem staying off the rumbles over here. So I've been lately trying to get closer to the seam. But yeah, that's mine. I'm not saying that's perfect. I feel like this turn, there's a few things you can do differently and pretty much end up at the same time. Cause I think I beat Tyson into the turn and then he beats me out into 4. And we end up about the same. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think my slowest point's probably like around kind of the same trajectory where you are, but like a little, probably what is it? Probably like between the two red parts on the headed close to turn 4, I guess. I think I'm a little bit further that way. Yeah, but kind of on the same, like, but right before the next stripe. Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Because same thing, I come in shallow and I run it out right there to get the bike turned. And as the bike is turning, then I can really that the radius of the exit of 3 will kind of open up, and I can drive just all the way. And so a lot of people are, they'll use the whole track and they don't have to. And I just feel like the line that I'm choosing, even though like I'm really good at it, well, I think I'm pretty good out there. Like I never go all the way to the right side of the track. Like I'm always about mid track or whatever, just so I get the thing turned and then able to pick it up and accelerate off of it. But turn 4, so the exit of turn 3 and the 4 is so sneaky because there's a lot of time to be gained there because you're accelerating a lot right there. Even though it's a slow entry corner, it's a low straightaway right there. And if you're able to get the thing turned and get on the throttle and everyone else is carouseling it and holding it, I mean, it's easy to gain a second on someone right there, Like, I've been behind people and catch them right there. Well, I'm almost T-boning them going in the 4,
Yeah.
So it's tricky because a lot of people carousel it, and if you do that, you can't get on the throttle. Whereas I'm on the throttle a second sooner. and that's big,
Oh yeah.
you know. But yeah, Trey, I think that if you clean up turn 3, I think you get your wishes this weekend. And we had this conversation last time. Me and Donnie was like, "Man, we think you're a little bit wide right there." But yeah, I think if you clean that up, I think you probably have a good, easily 5-6 tenths in that corner, easy. Probably more than that, but just easily just that, because the time that you're spending out there, you're not turning on the gas. Yeah.
So and I know this, we didn't have this podcast to talk about the line in turn 3, but so Danny's line is so much different, and it just makes so much sense. So he stays wide, right? Breaking into turn 3, he stays wider longer.
Right, past that dot. There's a dot on the track now.
Right. But by the time he turns in, go to like right there where you're at, right there. So by the time he's at the slowest part of the turn, right? I think back it up 10 seconds, Donnie. So he's already got the bike turned, right?
This is 1.
Yeah, that's going into 1. So where I'm hitting the first apex and diving past, so breaking deep. So let me back up. As I'm breaking,
so his slowest part of the corner is about the same spot Maya is. Go back and look at his dash.
Look at that.
All right. So
yeah, look, boom, right there, and look, the bike's. Watch when he just starts picking up the throttle.
Yeah. So that's my line is very similar to this.
Yeah. And look, he's turning, and look, the bike's almost pointed on the exit. He can accelerate.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
and look, he jumped up 5-10 miles an hour on a odometer, whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. But just to show you, he's accelerating and how fast he's going to accelerate out of there.
Right. The dude is a monster. So by the time and granted, he does slide that bike a lot into turn 3. But by the time he's got
a dirt bike background.
Yeah. By the time he's at the first apex of turn 3, he's already got the damn bike turned up track, man. So right there, look where the bike's pointed at. Look at it. That's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then at that point right there, he's getting ready to gas it out of the turn. Where me, I guess it's habit, I'm still braking deep, like way past the apex.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the bike's already turned up track. Pause it, Donnie. Now go back to your map.
Yes, I mean we're looking at like.
So he's gassing
here
in between the 2 sets of rumble strips, right? Right. So like a little bit before the midpoint of the 2 different sets of inside rumble strips, he's already on the gas driving out of there.
I mean, it's probably just a bit further than that. Probably like right here.
I can't see your cursor. No, keep coming into 3. Keep coming into 3. Back up some. What's your little mouse going?
It's hiding in the middle.
Gotcha.
In my opinion, that's where he is at the slowest point. It's really hard to take what you're seeing in video and put it on a track map.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That's where his slowest point is. But so if you move forward, right, cross section of track, move forward to the end of those rumble strips. Right. So at that point, the direction my bike is pointing and the direction his bike is pointing.
Yeah, you're still going this way. He's going that way.
Way different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to work on that. So if I'll work on that. And he gained a second on me in turn 4 as well.
Well, turn 4, you can't. All right, let's talk about 4. All right, so where's the slowest part of the turn?
The slowest
part. For me, it's in the middle of it.
Right where where the track is dark from the water. The second one.
Yeah, about right there.
That's about the slowest point.
And there's actually a bump right there, and I look for that bump, and I see that bump, and then I turn the bike.
Yeah, so turn 4 is a little different than turn 3, because the actual degree of the turn, so it's not 180 because that would be a U-turn. It's actually turn 3 is actually more than 180 degrees, whereas turn 4 is less. So really, you can brake super hard, super late, and deep, right? And you don't sacrifice any time on the exit, right? You make up a lot of time on the brakes into turn 4, braking hard and braking deep to just about where that dot's at. So once you get to the slowest point of the turn, right, you can run more lean angle because you're going slower, right? So you have less lateral forces pulling on your tires, and get the bike turned really quick and then gas out of the turn. Now, some people like to hug really tight all the way around and try and take it as fast as possible. Some people also rush the corner exit. A lot of people rush the exit on 4, and they end up running super wide, like right at the bottom of your photo on the right side of the track. They'll be way out there because they tried to gas it too soon.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got to carry the brake
so much. That's ridiculous.
A lot. Yeah. So the key to turn 4 is braking deep, get to your slowest point, get the bike turned up track, and keep your eyes on the exit, drive to the exit. Where's your slowest point of the turn 4, Donnie?
There we go. Now y'all can see my cursor. It's where we marked it. In reality, I'm bad at 4. It's probably my worst turn on the track. So
really,
whereas as you're supposed to be here, I'm usually like here. And so what that does is it makes me delay getting on the throttle, because when you're out here in the middle of the track, you have a pretty clear path so that you can get on the gas without running over these rumbles. Whereas, so like, let's say this dot can get on the gas pretty good. Let's say even at that point, whereas I have to wait until about here, until I can really, like, sometimes I'm even here before I can get on the gas, like way down there. And the bike is pointing where it needs to go. I'm just not in the right, my bike position doesn't allow me to get on the gas. And so I have to maintain maintenance throttle, ride the curb, and wait until, so, yeah. And something I want to try this weekend in this turn, if I can get my pace up, is, so my line on the entry is usually pretty shallow like this.
Right.
I want to, and I pass a lot of people like that, but I want to try to stay out a little further and then dive later to try to get me, to that dot better.
Mm-hmm.
So
I tried both. Oh, I have tried both, but the difference is, right? The difference is the amount of brake pressure you can apply because of the lane angle you're running.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take the line that you suggested just now that you want to try, because you got the bike leaned over, you're making it the turn start way back there, right? You can't brake as hard as you could if you just dove straight past that first apex in turn 4.
Yeah. So between the blue, you just can't brake as hard. I agree.
Correct.
Well, so if you was mid track, you could make that line work because you wouldn't have to carry the lean angle.
Right. Which is what I do.
Yeah, as long as you're mid track.
But I just want, like, usually my line is like, way back here, I'm already diving in.
Because so when I exit out of 3, I'm mid track, give or take 1 or 2 feet, to the outside of the track. You can enter from that way, run it in deeper, brake more straight up and down. And then because of where you're headed, it's going to push you out anyway. And so that you can just get the bike turned, because your trajectory is going to, in the speed, is going to carry you out there, where you're not having to carry a whole bunch of brake pressure leaned over, because you did all your braking straight up and down, because you're not over here having to come back this way. You're driving straight for the apex.
Right.
That corner allows you to do that. And I mean, I pass a lot of people right there, just because they've again, same thing like six, like they've used all the track and didn't have to. So they're going to brake and have to lean more and brake more, whereas I'm going straight, braking later, deeper, and then I'm going to end up right where my line wants to. Like I said, there's a bump right there, and I just make sure I see that bump and I turn right in front of that bump, and that's like I said, that's about the spot where y'all put it out there, the middle of the track, middle of the corner, but just before that seam. I suck at the exit of 4, but getting into it, I'm pretty good. And I think one of the reasons is on my 600, I couldn't get the bike to turn on maintenance throttle. So I always rush the exit. And that's one corner where if you rush the exit, like you said, you have to get off the throttle. And if you get off the throttle, game over. You know what I mean? That's not a corner that you can mess up the exit and make it up.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you go wide, you just have to accept it.
Yeah, and the only thing you do is give back the throttle, and everyone else, especially at that point in the RPMs and the speed, they're just going bye. So,
yeah.
So 5, very, very simple, straightforward turn. Probably, in my opinion, probably the easiest turn on the whole track.
Oh yeah, it's the least amount of a turn. It's almost a fun.
Yeah, I mean it's undebatable. Your apex, I mean your slowest part is the apex. Yeah, straightforward. That's just where you should be going the slowest on every bike, every skill level. That's just super easy.
Yeah, but the dangerous part about this corner is that what people have to understand is that, all right, that's the slowest part of the corner. It's the easiest corner, but it's a corner a lot of people crash because they get it wrong. And you have to make sure, again, to my direction, you have to make sure that your bike is pointed on the exit in order for you to get the drive off and not run over the rumble strips, not lose the rear, high side, do all that funny stuff. And the way that you have to do it is you have to be able to apply either brakes if you're going to trail brake in there a little bit, or if you can get your bike to decelerate via just rolling off and getting into still corner, that's fine. But whatever it is, you have to be able to get the bike there, get it turned before you start accelerating. And then you have to turn on the throttle very smoothly because there's a bump right there. And if you whack the throttle as the bike is hitting that and unsettling, then again, it's not going to be a fun ride. But that corner is super easy, but it hurts if you get it wrong.
Yeah. Hey, y'all remember that guy that that decided he didn't want to ride his bike anymore in the middle of that turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the bike kept going by itself all the way.
Almost took
to the
Tyson
corner
out.
worker station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, I
It's-
knew right when those intermediate guys got bumped, I was like, you
I
know
love
what,
this
y'all
corner
go
too.
ahead. I'm gonna let y'all. I'm glad I did. Because
Yeah.
usually I'm out there in the middle of everybody having fun, but I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
behind.
that
him.
was wild.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, I'm trying to pick up the pace a little bit here because we're already about 50 minutes in, and I don't want to make this too much over an hour. So once again, in my opinion, apex.
Yeah. That's a pretty standard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about entry too much here. I know we all have different entries into this one, but
Yeah.
I'm just focused on slowest part, apex. And this turn doesn't really give you any other options because of the bump on the apex. So you're forced to go the slowest at that point. 7. So 7 is a good one to have this discussion. We might actually be a little different here.
So
What
I
you
don't
got,
really
Trey?
have a slowest point in turn 7. I'm pretty much driving. I'm on the gas all the way through there. Whether it be we'll back up into 6. So coming out of 6, 80% throttle, and then I'll kind of roll off just a little bit just to settle the front of the bike for the bump. But then I'm as soon as I know my line is set for the corner exit, I'm back on the gas. And that's probably at the beginning, a little bit before the rumble strips is where I get back on the gas to drive through 7. So I guess my slowest point of that turn is, oh man, it's way back there. It's right at the exit of 6. If that makes sense.
You would pretty much say apex is 6 and you're accelerating throughout.
And really that's it. Really, you could look at that as one solid turn, because when you apex 6 and you come you do come all the way out to the edge of the track, and you keep that same arc, right? So 6 and 7 is almost one turn once you get to maybe mid upper advanced group pace.
Yep, I agree.
You just kind of modulate the suspension on the bike with the throttle for the bumps. Yeah.
Anything to add, Dean?
I think that line's changed with the bumps. Now I kind of the same thought process and everything as Trey. I do kind of early apex it and then stand the bike up and then lean it again, just because there's a little bit smoother line through there if you just kind of early apex it. But then you got to stand the bike up, go over the bumps, and then if you can lean the bike again, you're still all kind of on the throttle. But there's a much smoother line through there. But it's just kind of weird because you're doing some things that you really shouldn't be doing. Like you're on a throttle, you turn in, you stand the bike up, then you lean it back again. But it's just a smoother line through there, and I can go faster that way than just full sending over the bumps and all that stuff. But yeah, basically that starts in between 6 and 7, I guess, would technically kind of be the slowest point when you come out of 6, short shift, and then roll off as you're tipping in just to get the thing to steer, give you direction, and then you kind of pick up the throttle. So it's way back in between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
All right, turn 9. What you got, Dean? All right, just so everybody is aware, 8, yeah, there is no slowest part. So we're gonna skip to 9.
For me, it's kind of at the beginning of that curbing. In 9, yeah, left-handed.
Where's my
right?
mouse? There we go. Even I can. So we got
So,
Dean saying here.
So yeah, probably the third red thing around there somewhere, I guess, the third or fourth one.
So you're saying here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from a top angle. I'm used to
Right.
looking at it this way, but yeah, I would say probably there-ish. Yeah, because maybe a little bit deeper behind it, maybe even like 2 or 3 more red squares. Sorry, I keep making change it, but
I agree with that. I think this
Yeah.
kind of goes back to your turn too. I'm bad because I'm coasting to this point typically, and then I'm back on the throttle around here. So
yeah,
I agree.
definitely pick up the throttle there. Again, not accelerating, but going to neutral throttle. So, but the bike's not turning at that point. I can't accelerate at that point. I have to wait for it to come back around a little bit further before I can start accelerating. And in my mind, I think slowest point, when the bike's done turning, that may not always be mile per hour, but that's just kind of how I think of it.
Got anything, Trey?
Oh, no, not really. I take a different line into 9 probably than you guys do. Yeah.
All right, we'll skip 10 and 11 because your slowest part there is dependent on your line that you're taking and what bike you're on, how you ride. I don't think there's really any better or worse there. Personally, 10, mine's right in the middle over the volcano that I've heard was removed. And then in 11 for me, it's probably here on the entry-ish part of the curb, because I like to let off and be slower here so that I can get on the gas and really drive into 13. Just my personal.
When we talk about slowest point of the turn, that's usually turns where the brakes are involved, and that, really, there's nothing in the S's. You shouldn't be braking.
Exactly.
So here's another point. So on the entry to 13, in between the entry to 13 and the exit of 14 is another place I lose about a half a second to Danny because of his line choice. And it's because of where he positions the slowest part of the turn. And again, I personally dive bomb the shit out of turn 13. So I drive so deep and so hard coming up to 13 that I'm full brakes all the way past the apex of 13, all the way to the probably the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth red mark on the inside curving to 14. I'm full brakes all the way up to that point, which I gain a lot of time on the entry. So my slowest point in turn 13 is actually the fourth dot of the curving for turn 14, because I'm still braking to there. But so I gain a shit ton of time on the entry, but I lose it because I have to wait so long for the bike to turn, because with that line, it throws me all the way to the curving in 14. And then I have to lean the bike over and basically just hold maintenance throttle or neutral throttle all the way around 14. But what I'm seeing is when I compare the two videos, my video versus his, I think I need to back that up some. So my slowest point in that whole section really should be right at the apex of 13. I should be braking a little harder at first and then slowing down for 13. That way I can really take a wider, basically I'm turning too shallow into 13. Turning too soon is running me super wide on 14. So I need to brake a little deeper before I turn the bike. And that way I can take a wider entry into 14, which would put me up against the curving later. So it's less time that I spend at maintenance throttle. Yeah. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to.
No, that's a good discussion. So I agree. You should be a slightly late apex on 13, just ever so slightly.
Yeah. And I always rush that turn. You know what? I blame you, Donnie. It's your fault.
Because I'm always going to tell them stuff you there.
Yeah. I'm going to stuff you into 13. Bullshit. I'll wad us both up. You ain't stopping me in 13.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I kind of treat 13 as an exit corner.
And it should be.
I'm back on the throttle pretty early there, and I try and drive as hard as I can between 13 and 14, stay mid-track. And then I do have to trail brake a little bit in the 14 just to get back down to the curbing. And then again, accelerate between 14 and 15. So because in 13 and 14, the middle of 14, I'm like really slow right there, but I'm against the curbing. I'm waiting on direction. As soon as I got direction, I can drive off and still keep in the lane I want to be on the track. But if I rush it, and a lot of people rush it, and where they can't answer, they answer 15 with like 50-degree lean angle going 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So
they rushed it.
let's back up to 13 here. So we're pretty much all in agreement, pretty much center of the turn, maybe a little late.
Yeah.
14 was pretty much a typical constant radius, longer than 100-degree turn. There is no one slowest point. You will maintain your slowest speed for some period as long as the corner radius requires it. So pretty much there's a couple ways you could take 14. They're just as fast, but my personal is I like to be dragging knee on the curb pretty much the whole turn. So from the time I turn in, so I would even say like here all the way to probably, I mean, it's so hard to see from this angle, probably here, I'm probably going the same speed in this whole window because the turn just requires it.
So since we're discussing this, I think we all do that. I think in terms of the fastest lap time, I don't think that's correct.
So
I
Tyson
think we all do that.
says in chat, 13 and 15 are entry turns, 14 is balance. I agree.
Yeah.
So if we're talking pure theoretical here, I'm not saying my line's the best because it's not. In a turn like this, there is no best line. There's multiple ways you can take it,
Yeah.
but one's not faster than the other. And that's just how theory, and let me kind of explain that real quick. If you should be over here on entry to 14, if you're not, then you didn't carry enough speed through 13. So you should be here. As you go to turn in, if you want to go wide so that it's easier to set your speed. So you can go sort of like this, go wide a little bit and then come back, that's fine. And what that does is it allows you to not be as precise on setting your speed for the turn so that you're still slowing down. And now you're creating a slowest part of the turn out here.
Right.
And that's not any faster. It's not any slower than my personal line of staying on the curb the whole time, but you don't gain anything either. It's just difference in what different people prefer. We will still be going the same speed over here on the exit, regardless of which line, because that's even when you're going the slowest point here, you are still following the constant radius of the turn.
Right.
3 and 4 do not follow this principle. I want to stress that because 3 and 4 are not constant radius turns. They are increasing radius turns. So
I got some things I'm going to try. Yeah, I got some things I'm going to try, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
all right, 15 to 16. 15, are we going to call that a turn?
Yeah, definitely.
15 is a turn, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna let's try what you got. What's your slowest part?
Slowest part is right at the apex of 15. Probably the middle white mark.
So you're saying this one?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got, Dean?
Yeah, I'm pretty much same place.
Okay, I would say I'm a little late. I'd say I'm maybe here. Selling difference. I don't think it really makes a big difference at the end of the day. I've
Yeah.
learned that if I delay getting back onto the gas coming out a little bit later, my lap times are a little quicker and I'm not fighting to stay out of the grass quite as bad. I personally think Dean's faster than me here though, so I don't know. So we'll just say
So
here.
the great debate, 16.
Well, that shouldn't be too much of a debate, huh?
Well, it
Should
depends on what kind of bike you ride.
Well, I mean, if you're on a 300, you should just be constant throttle.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
And watching some people rail on 250s and 300s through that turn is hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so what you got, Dean? We'll let you be the guinea pig.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably around the apex. I mean, it's pretty if you stay out late and then come down, I mean, again, like if we're talking about a miles per hour, then it's probably a little bit before the center of that corner. If you're
So you're saying, well, give me a red mark, number of reds.
Probably like 2 or 3 from the entry to it, somewhere around there, maybe even one further. It's around that middle part right there.
Trying to get you a fitting color.
And it might even be before that. I mean, because again, if you're getting the bike turned, then I'm usually back on the gas before then, but I don't have direction yet. You know, I'm still waiting on direction. The bike's still turning. But that's probably the slowest mile per hour point is probably even back further than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree with that statement.
But
So
again,
which one did you say?
If we're going by mile per hour, then yeah, it's back further. It's
Yeah,
back
like
up.
back here.
Yeah, probably like even like a little. Yeah,
Yeah, I can agree with that because I usually tap the brakes a little bit, just get the bike to turn easier, and then I'm kind of maintaining throttle. So if we just ignore the turn in, I mean, I'm gonna say it's sort of hard to see from this angle. I'm gonna say maybe, well, let me not use a gay color.
Hey,
funny.
mhm.
I'm gonna say there.
That's your slowest point of the corner.
I think so. Like if we ignore the entry, sort of like turn two.
Oh,
If we're
okay.
ignoring,
What-
if we're ignoring this, because I'm maintaining throttle
well,
from
then-
there to here. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
would
say
agree with
that's
that.
all the same speed. Here is when I'm really getting on the throttle
Yeah.
and
Again,
trying to find myself on the
that's
fence.
that's when I would call me having direction. But yeah, if we're ignoring entry, then yeah, it's probably right there. Maybe even one of the other ways, depends on the laps.
Cool. Well, that's all the turns. See, let's talk about exit real
I ain't got
quick,
no villas over there.
just because I wanted to talk about it. Oh, five's a good one to talk about exit. That's not too controversial. So when can you get back on the gas in turn 5? So we
Oh.
established slowest part of the turns at the apex.
I'm back on the gas as soon as I let the brakes.
Yep.
I'm on the gas. So I let off the brakes before the apex. And I'm pretty much neutral throttle right at the apex. Like I'm going from off gas to on gas right there, and I'm driving the rest of the way through.
Yep, I completely agree. So here
Yeah.
it's simply at the apex.
Yeah, and I try and like go back to 5% throttle before that bump. That's what I was saying earlier.
Well, yeah, because you want the most available traction, right, as you go over the bump, and you're gonna get the most traction from the rear tire because it's larger and has a larger contact patch. So as you're going over the bump, you want the weight of the bike to be shifted on the rear. You have the most traction that way. And the same goes for turn 13. So, well, on a small bike, you should be gassing past the bump in 13. But
I'm
lately,
usually actually have a little bit of maintenance throttle over that bump in 13.
Yeah, agreed.
See, I'm full on brakes right there.
I don't
I'm telling-
trust myself or my bike enough for that shit.
Well, I'm also on soft stock suspension, so I can absorb the blow of that bump a little better.
So random question here we got from Street Rossi. How much will you change up with a fresh repave?
Oh my God.
A lot.
Oh my
So
God.
I'll go first. And we'll
Almost
try to
every
keep these
corner.
responses simple. And not like dream too much. All right, my
And one.
personal opinion, my line will not change. I personally think the best line is the best line, and we're pretty much on the best line now.
Right.
The only thing I will change riding wise is turn 6 and turn 1. Turn 1 I will treat more as an entry turn instead of like a mix right now. So you should be able to brake all the way to the apex in 1, but you can't right now because of the bumps. And then turn 6 I will take a wider entry so that I could drive harder into 7. Whereas right now you can't.
Calm down, please. I can't even hear what's going on in here with the door closed.
I would say almost every corner. I mean, like you said, the straightaway, turn 1 would be different. Turn 5 would be faster. Turn 6, 7.
Oh my God, 7 would be
10, 11,
fun turn on the track.
13. And then, I mean, 16, you would take 16 a little bit differently also because you wouldn't have to worry about that straightaway. So almost every corner would be a little bit different. I mean, even not necessarily like line choice, like on every one of them, but you would be able to do some different things and go a lot faster without having the bumps.
What you got, Trey?
No, I totally agree. So the bumps on the track, they mainly affect turn 1 on the brakes. 3 and 4 is not bad. The dip at turn 5, I could take turn 5 so much faster without that dip. 5, 6, 7 would be a lot faster. Really, I think the biggest, in terms of the backside of the track, the biggest game changer would be turn 10. There's a faster line than what we're taking through there now. But you can't really take it. You can't really be full gas on that because the bump in 10 is terrible. Where else?
And Tyson said people would send themselves in the grass coming out of 7. Yeah, 7 would become the most terrifying turn on the track.
Oh man, it would be the most fun turn on the track. That's like the kink at Road Atlanta, dude.
I've never even came close to running into the grass out of 7. And like, you change that shit, oh my God, especially on a leader bike. Oh, it'd be terrifying.
Oh yeah.
There'd be a lot more drag racing and passing going into 8 because of it.
Yeah, and 1. Like,
well, yeah,
turn 1 would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it would be like Road
basically-
Atlanta. I mean, Road Atlanta, you can go into 1 3 wide, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, turn 1 at NOLA, if it was smooth, it would basically come down to how big are your balls.
Yep.
That's it.
And it'd be
And
better than Road Atlanta because when you do yeet yourself, at least you can go straight and
Yeah.
not into a tire wall.
Oh God.
All right, so let me touch on one more thing real quick that I wanted to talk about as well, just to kind of wrap up the 2 topics of slowest part of the turn and when you can get back on the throttle. So the reason we talked about slowest part of the turn is because that is the point when you can get back on the throttle. So, going back to 13 here, we said at the apex, when you get past that and you're driving into 14, well, you obviously should be back on the throttle at the apex. Turn 14. So this one goes back, if we look at the line I take, so you're pretty much slowest part of the turn is this whole curb. So where do you get back on the throttle here? Well, it's when the bike is pointed where it needs to go. So as you're coming through here, when can you get on the throttle and start picking the bike up in order to give it more and more throttle and stay on the line you need to? So for me, I like staying sort of in this area and not going super wide out of 14. So I can't get on the throttle quite as hard or early as some other people that are okay being over here further to the right. So to me, I delay. So let's say like Trey, for instance, he likes shooting over here, whereas I like staying in the middle.
So that's not the preferred line. That's just me being impatient, right? Because of the line I take through 13, and it makes me wait so long through 14. So I get impatient and I gas it early and I run wide out of 14, which really screws up 15 and 16 for me. So I lose a lot of time because I'm impatient.
So whereas Trey can get on the gas at this blue line, I have to wait until here to get on the gas. So he's going to beat me out of here. But based on the lines, I would probably get him back in 15 or the entry to 16.
Yeah.
Make up what he gained here. So let's see. Matthew says, how bad are the bumps at NOLA compared to MSRH? I haven't been MSRH. I know a couple people that do both, especially the CMRA racers. They say NOLA's nice compared to MSRH.
Yeah, I've heard
None
that
of
as
the
well.
Texas people complain about bumps at NOLA. Only the East Coast people complain about bumps at NOLA. The people that ride like Road Atlanta, Barber, CMP, those people are the ones that come to NOLA and they're like, oh my God, this is terrible.
So they're completely different kind of bumps too. And one of the bigger issues with MSRH, or one of the bigger, I guess, complaints, is that they have multiple different types of pavement. So they have different feel, they have different grip levels. So whereas we have bumps, right? Well, they have pavement, then all of a sudden they've got asphalt and they've got a new fresh block of cement and they got some sealer. And so as you're leaned over going over this, like you feel all the sensations in your hands, right? So you'll think, oh my God, the bike's sliding, where you just went over sealer or something like that. So maybe it did slide a little bit, but theoretically it's just different sensations of the different surfaces that you're going, and then along with the bumps, but they don't have the same type of bumps that NOLA has.
Yeah. So pretty much wraps up all the things I wanted to talk about. See, we're about an hour and 15 in, so doing pretty good on time. Anything else you guys want to add here at the end?
Oh, I'm stoked to get back to NOLA, man. Super stoked. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I'm excited to be back on a
Happy to be back
freaking
on a bike.
bike. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
God.
Dying. I hope I still got it, man. I'm hoping I don't go out there and like be a freaking intermediate again or some shit.
And just go with a game plan and work through it on Saturday morning. The track's probably going to be green a little bit anyway. You know what I mean? I'm going to be there 2 days, so take it easy Saturday morning. Work on some stuff. Get your mind. You said get your mind back up to speed, and you can't go work on a whole track at the same time. I mean, same shit you already know, but
good point.
and same thing. I mean, like I'm going to go work on some things Saturday morning for sure, and see what Saturday afternoon brings, and then Sunday, probably put some fresh tires on, and go play with Trey. Let's see what we can do, man. I'm so excited. So excited.
Russell said, "Thank all of y'all for doing these. Appreciate you.
It's
Appreciate
fun,
you
man.
joining,
I mean,
man."
Especially when we get to ride all the time.
Yeah. I mean, if I hope, my goal personally is to get back out there, get comfortable sometime on Sunday when some rubber gets laid down, maybe do some 51s. I think a 51.5 is my best track day lap at NOLA. So if I could turn a 51.9, I think I'd be happy. I mean, I
Nice.
haven't been to NOLA all year, other than March.
Tyson, what was that lap, bro? What was it?
I think I actually have his data. I could pull it up.
That was
I think a 49.8 is his PR.
Oh man.
Maybe he's still here. I know it's a 49. Well, actually, no, I can pull it up on Race Monitor because it was in the race.
Yeah, Saturday's gonna be great weather. High 60s, low 70s, but barely any wind.
And Russell says he's got to beat the 2:45. Yeah, I mean this will be a good weekend.
Yeah, Sunday's gonna be a little bit windier, but I just hate the wind at NOLA because it comes across the S's and 3 and 4, so it's always like sometimes it'll just push you wide or an entry.
Yeah, usually I get it the worst right about the braking zone for turn 1, and then like turn 8 to get across.
Yeah.
You get usually wind from NOLA is either south wind or a north wind. If it is a north wind, then it cuts across your front going down the back straight, leaning in for turn 8. Yeah, and that, I mean, really, once you lean the bike over, right? So you almost act as a spoiler, right? The wind comes buffeting off of you and it wants to push you lower on the bike.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest. It's like, oh my God, am I losing the front? No, it's just a 40-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Or you're like, I can't get the bike to turn.
Yeah, right. I can't
or it's turning too much.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Is Tyson riding this weekend?
A little more top speed.
Yeah, he's coming both days. Everybody's gonna be there. I tried to get one of our racing buddies, Patrick, to come down from Georgia, have another 636 to help me with all these R6s. But no, he did a 49.8 in one of the races on some fresh rubber. I remember talking to him before that race. I was fucking wore out that weekend. I don't really know why. Like, my physical fitness was terrible. And I was like, dude, let's not put new tires on. He really wanted a 49. So he did, and he got it.
Shooting for the moon.
I think that was the race that Dean started behind us because he registered late, and then he stuffed me into one, gave Tyson like a 5-second lead going into 3. So like I stuck with him for like a lap or 2, and then I was like, it's not happening. I just let him go. I started running like 53s, 54s for the rest of the race.
Damn.
Oh man. I got my set of Continentals though.
I got him back for you, Trey.
Yeah. Actually, I think the only place he's ever stuffed me is at Road Atlanta.
And that was twice, 2 laps in a row, same turn.
It was. It was. He was like, you didn't learn the first time. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Howie reverse stuffs me on that turn. So like I'll either get him or be ahead of him, and then he'll come around the outside. It's shitty.
So I'd love to have a bunch of laps, a bunch of seat time at Road Atlanta, because I mean, I think I ran. Oh man, don't quote me on this. I think I ran like a 36, maybe on the R6, and then I dropped like 4 seconds the next day on the R1, 32s maybe.
No, you didn't run 32s.
No, you ain't run 32s.
You might have hit 136 on the R1. It might have been 40s on the R6. That sounds about right.
It was a 4-second difference, and I remember 136. That's
a pretty typical 600 to liter bike difference there.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 or 4 seconds.
So, and that was my first weekend there. So I mean, I would love to have some laps around Road Atlanta, a bunch of laps.
Did we have turn 12 cut in half then?
Say again?
Was turn 12 cut in half or no? No, that was earlier this year.
No.
The first track they went earlier there this year before Moto America, they had cones in the middle of the track in 12, and you had to be on the inside half because we used old pit road for the pit. We didn't get the pit that we had then.
Oh God. Yeah,
so,
that's
dude, it was fucking terrifying. Like you would come over 11, like,
and you had to stay wide left.
No, you had to go to the right. If you
to the right of the cones?
Yeah, because you had people pitting on the left side of the track as you're coming over the fucking hill. It was so sketchy.
How do you? Oh,
so because they went straight.
Yeah.
Oh, they would go straight. Oh my God.
For pit out. Yeah, it was. So what you would do is if you had people in front of you, you just played it safe at the end of the day. The only time I would fucking send it over 11 is if like nobody was in front of me going into 10A, because then you know they're not going to be on the other side of the hill. But yeah, it was fucking sketchy. There was a couple laps where like Mark, Luis, and Joey and I were out there turning some pretty quick laps following each other. And like, I think Mark just fucking sent it over the hill when we were in like a big pack of people and almost like ass packed somebody. And like, yes, it was almost killed Joey that day too. I had it was honestly the scariest motorcycle moment of my life.
I remember you telling me about that in turn 1 or turn 2 or something like that.
Turn 2. Oh my God, dude! It would have been life-changing, a life-changing accident for both of us. I was using him as a reference at the top of the hill, which was terrible idea. I run off the inside of 2, and then there's a big hole, so I have to get back on the gas so that I don't like my front just doesn't eat shit in the asphalt. Now I'm back on the track about to T-bone him as he is going left towards the curb. And so I just stabbed the brakes. Now I'm stopping, looking at the fucking ground. And like, I was like slow-mo in real life. He's like barely makes it in front of me as I can like see my wheel and his rear wheel miss each other by inches. And then like the bike sits back down and it's not straight anymore. It's like completely fucking sideways. So then I'm like getting bucked out of the seat back into the grass and like the car fucking version, dude. It was, oh my God. Whew, never again.
Goosebumps, huh?
Never again. I get if you're by yourself in that situation, it's not near as sketchy. I probably would have just laid her down, you know. I mean, I would have been like, "Fuck, Clibbins got me." You just give it up. But when
Clibbins,
God, dude, that knowing that I just fucked up and I might be costing somebody else like their leg is terrifying. Like it's just, oh man, I came into turn 3 too hot into Tyson one time too at NOLA. We like came out of turn 2 fucking cooking. I had the drive on him. We had been following each other for a couple laps, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna stuff him into 3. I'm just gonna wait till he breaks, brake a little later, and it's just a typical case of you not using your own brake marker, you using somebody else for a brake marker. He had already braked too late. I braked even later, and I was just gonna fucking run into him because I'm in the middle of the track. He's on the far right side. We were gonna come together because I couldn't fucking stop, and luckily he blew it too. So that was, oh.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Dean, what's your scariest moment on a motorcycle on track?
I don't know. I mean, I guess getting run over is probably like the thing that pops into my head first.
In turn 4?
Yeah. I had another one where was at CMRA. It was a Team 60 and doing like a Le Mans start, and yeah. So and I had just switched from Dunlops to Pirellis, and I had like really had no laps on them, and I knew it was a softer carcass and all that, but just like we just ran out of time. And so I did the start, and I was going to outbrake someone who's at Eagles Canyon, actually going into turn 3, and I had kind of like lifted the rear wheel, and another guy, like because of the Le Mans start, right, like people got out ahead, and I was evenly faster than them, so I'm going to outbrake him. I kind of outbroke myself, and then the guy behind me, same scenario, used me as a brake marker and outbroke himself, and I had my tire, and he tried to come up the inside, and I clipped my elbow and ended up going over and breaking my collarbone and all that. But I don't know if that's really like scary. That's just like an incident just happened, but like getting run over and seeing that bike come at me and barely missing my head, I think. And again, I mean, I think that's still like that's one of the things that it took me a long time to get to where like I could go do a lap and go aggressive every corner, every lap. It took me a long time to do that just because, and I took off a couple of years after that. So getting back into riding and getting to that point of being comfortable when uncomfortable just took a long time. But yeah. What about you?
It was a NOLA track day. And I spent the morning on the R3, I guess coaching or whatever riding, I don't remember. But I spent the morning on the R3. So I was used to the line, like, right? The baby bike line, which is pretty much, full corner speed, as wide as you can make it around the turn. And after lunch, I decided I was going to get on the 8, the Aprilia. And I was, that's a bad move. So I came out of 7. Donnie, pull that map up. Pull that track map up. I came out of 7 probably faster than I ever have in my entire life. Zoom out some. You're going to need to zoom out for this. Yeah. I came out of 7 faster than I had in my entire life. And I was going to go over the curbing at full lean. Now, this is back, I was still intermediate, I think, at this point, but I was probably doing 130 miles an hour right there, or 120 or something like that. Anyway, I was well over 100 miles an hour, and I was going to hit the curbing at full lean, and I knew that I was going to wash the front and just crash and die right there. So I stood the bike up, stood it up and ran off track. I ran and this picture that's on your screen is I don't know when it's taken from, but it hasn't always been like that. Like there used to be a whole lot of grass and stuff in the gravel pit. You couldn't see. So basically, I didn't know that there was even a gravel pit right there. I guess because of the grass. So I ran through the gravel pit, out the other side. Pull your map down. Go up to like turn 10. Yeah. So
it goes turn 10. Damn.
Yeah. So I ran off the track I went through the corner of the pebbles there, the pea gravel, and then I went through what can only be described as slush for probably 100. I couldn't touch the brakes or I was going to lose the front. Immediately. It was just a wet, slushy, sloshy mess. There's also a sandbar in there that I had no idea existed. Basically, I ran off track and I pulled back on the track in turn 10. That's how fast I was going.
That's crazy.
I didn't crash, but that's like I saw my entire life flash before my eyes. Yeah. To be going through grass at speed like that and on a $25,000 bike, yeah. Fucking stupid.
Yeah. I for sure would much rather crash on track than off track.
Oh,
Been there, done that.
All right. Hold on a second. Let's be honest. This is when Trey's scariest moment. I mean, Jamie brought it up in chat. I completely, this is actually what I was thinking.
Thanks, Jaime. Appreciate that, buddy.
We all know Trey when he was sitting over here with an R6. Scariest moment of his riding career. The second scariest moment is when he was right here with it.
Oh, no. That's fun. So, true story. She was more pissed because she thought. So as she came by, right, I knew that she was staring at me. Now she's coaching. She's got a group of riders with her, and she's staring at me as she's riding by. And her bike, which was at the time it was her bike, the R6, is laying in the grass, and I'm standing next to it, and I'm like waving her on, like go, like don't stop, just keep going. I'm all good, just go. And I didn't know in the moment, obviously, but after the fact, she told me, I thought you were telling me. She said she thought I was fussing at her for something, like stop looking at me or something. No, I'm like, I'm good, just go. Yeah, she said she was more worried about me than she was.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was 100% my fault. I threw that bike on the ground for nothing. Cold tires, man. That was it.
That was my first 636 crash on the big track too.
Turn one?
Turn one. My first advanced session on it.
Is that where you put a hole in the gas tank?
Yep.
Damn.
Was a shit.
I remember that. I'm like, why is there a motorcycle laying sideways in the grass right now by the paddock? Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what better thing to do with it. I mean.
No, you're right. You don't want to let gas drip all over the concrete. I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, the grass didn't catch on fire, so it seemed all right. But
so true story. At Jennings this past weekend, and actually Brian Persall was right behind me. I think I just passed him coming out of 2, like right almost in the braking zone for turn 3 at Jennings. And he couldn't get around me for that lap. And then we came back to that same spot. And I went on the R6 downshift to lean in for 3 and hit a neutral in the R6. And that was like, I'm pegged out in 6th gear, leaned over. And I don't know how fast I'm going. The thing's geared, it's geared super low. But I sat up, like grab the brakes, go to click down twice to 4th gear. And I hit up just neutral, and then just at 0 engine braking, the bike went straight off the track at probably 100 miles an hour. Brian was right behind me. We got off the track, and he was like, "Bro, what are you doing?" He just caught a neutral, man.
Damn, that's rough.
Wow. Yeah, that was fun though. That was the last session Sunday. He and I went out and we were playing back and forth. It was super fun. I like it.
Best way to do it. Well, we need to cut it here. It's a little over an hour and a half. Appreciate everybody stopping in. For anybody that doesn't know, most of us, well, I say most of us, I know us 3 will be there Friday hanging out, getting some brothers fried chicken, getting greased up for the weekend. I will have my new projector that I hope is worth a shit. I've sort of played with it a little bit, and we will be watching the World Superbike somewhere in the pits on the side of my trailer, or I got a screen. Maybe we can hang it up somewhere. We'll
Nice.
figure it out. We got the cornhole boards. We'll have a little cornhole tournament Saturday. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Hey, you guys want to shoot some darts?
Yeah,
I was thinking about. Yeah, you're any good with darts?
I'm not good. I'll do
Oh.
it.
Okay, I was thinking about bringing a dartboard set up. That'd be pretty,
Hey, man.
cool.
Yeah.
The more stuff. I mean, worst case, you bring it, we don't use it.
Yeah.
I wanted to build some cornhole boards this weekend to have some better ones, but I mean, I've just been fucking slammed trying to find a new house. God, this sucks. This economy's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
But
Hey, there's plenty of stuff in Tennessee, man. I've been looking and seeing
that's
it.
too far, man. It's too far. And yeah. So, all right.
I gotta go put 35 miles on a BMW.
All right.
See y'all Friday.
Get her
See
done.
everybody else Friday. Appreciate y'all checking in, stopping in, whatever.
All right, man.
Later.
Catch y'all.
Right.